St. Louis 3 springs ago. Soon as the sun thawed the snow, trudged my way up a mountain land. I built these walls with my 2 hands. Hey. I traded pelts with the Sioux, made my clothes, sewed my shoes. The winter's hard, the snow is deep, but I'm beholden to no man but me. Once you're free, you can't go back. Once you're free, you're gonna die like that. Deer and Wapiti, far as an eye can see. The water's rich with perch and trout. The soil's dark with fertile ground. Echo through the leaves that hard times rumble on back east. But I plant my corn and skin my game and thank the Lord for one more day. Once you're free, you can't go back. Once you're free, you're gonna die like that. Once you're free, you can't go back. Once you're free, you're gonna die like that. Die among these trees. The wolves and maggots will bury me. There'll be no stone to mark my grave, just a Hawking rifle and an old King James.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there.
There was one?
There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Wake up!
I know we've only known each other for 4 weeks and 3 days, but to me, it seems like 9 weeks and 5 days. The first day seemed like a week, and the second day seemed like 5 days, and the third day seemed like a week again, and the fourth day seemed like 8 days. But the fifth day, you went to see your mother, and that seemed just like a day. But then you came back, and then later, on the 6th day in the evening, when we saw each other, that started seeming like 2 days. So in the evening, it seemed like 2 days spilling over into the next day, and that started seeming like 4 days. So at the end of the 6th day, on into the 7th day, it seemed like a total of 5 days. And the 6th day seemed like a week and a half.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
And a happy Wednesday to you all. Welcome to the IRONWORX, streaming live on both YouTube and on Rumble. Just give ironrealmmedia a search. And what you did, go ahead and hit subscribe if you don't mind. That'd be good too. It's like we're still trailing off on subscribers here on YouTube. You know how YouTube does it. But good morning, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Howdy ho.
Hello.
Uncle Lake.
What's up, Luke?
How are you guys? I missed Monday's show.
I did too.
You're always absent, Walt, so keep bunking.
Man. I'm trying to get it back together. I'm trying.
So, what's new, guys? Well, what are we missing?
I don't know.
There's an asteroid the size of the Golden Gate Bridge
What happened?
heading towards Earth. An asteroid about the size or larger than the Golden Gate Bridge.
I got you.
Length or width?
You can't see it though.
Is it the length or the width of the Golden Gate Bridge?
I'm not sure.
Maybe it's the height. As big as, I don't know, is it the same fucking shape?
It says it won't pose any threat. It's about 1,017 to 2,264 feet inside.
Yep. That's people say, Josh, how tall are you? Well, I'm somewhere between 5'10" and 12 feet tall.
Yeah. It's going to come within 2.5 million miles of Earth, 9 times further than the moon. That's not very close. What are they talking about? But yeah, they used the Golden Gate Bridge this time. They're always comparing it to something. Why not just, see how many football fields it is?
Or compare it to like...
That's still comparing it to something, though.
Well, sure, but maybe compare it to something similar, like another asteroid. This was half the size of a big asteroid. This was twice the size of a small asteroid. This was 47 hot dogs long. What the fuck? I don't care. Tell me anything. Could be 6 inches, could be a
what's going
foot.
on?
A lot.
Yep.
So what's going on in South Africa, Nuka? How you holding up?
We're all good. Same shit, different toilet.
How's the weather? Cooling off, you guys?
Yeah, it's getting cold now. It's getting cold. My
So what is
garden has
cold?
died. Cold is,
What
for
do you
me, like
Yeah.
15, 16 degrees Celsius is cold.
Like 60 degrees?
Uh-huh. Around there.
16 degrees Celsius.
Which is about 60 in the Fahrenheit. Ish.
Yeah, it says 60.8 Fahrenheit. That's cold, man.
Okay. When it's time to take your coat off when you go outside, it's not cold.
Yeah, 60 is when you start taking your coat off and you just,
Nice. I'm not white, remember? My skin is made for hotness, not coldness.
You know, Eskimos aren't
To me,
Yeah,
white.
you can't talk like that. My neighbors are just as dark as you are. And they
Yeah,
manage
but they
fine.
grow up there. They don't know any better.
Inuits. That's how they're supposed to be referred to. The Inuits. They're not white. And they handle
Not part of the sacred bloodline.
They just got better genetics. They're just a genetically superior being. That's all it is.
Those people,
Well, I got
man,
news on Starlink. Elon
you seen
Musk.
That's
Starlink.
good. You should get the whole internet from Starlink, not just the news.
Well, we initially said no, remember? When we had that thing with the meeting with Ramaphosa and Trump. And then there seemed to be talks between Starlink executives and the country. And what they came up with was, if they want to operate in this country, then they need to basically work with one of the black companies in this country, so to divide sort of like the profits. So black owned companies need to work with Starlink for them to operate in this country. And Starlink has said, well, no, that's bullshit. We don't want to do that. So now they're having a big row about it.
Well, that's pretty good. I wonder if Starlink just came back and said, okay, fine, but all the profits that we make will only go to white people.
Yeah, that's how it is now. But in general, that's just the process of operating in this country. You need to work with black economic empowerment businesses to sort of level out the field so everybody benefits. I mean, we have...
So they force you to work with a certain group of people in an attempt to even out the playing field? I don't think that means what you think it means.
Well, you're going to be operating in their backyard. You need to involve them in whatever you're doing.
As long as they're black.
Not necessarily. You need to, there's colored ones, there's Indians ones as well. You need to represent everybody.
But white.
In some cases, white. If, for example, a black company can't just go and operate somewhere being 100% black owned, they also need to get into a sort of a deal with some other entity that would need to be white to share some of the profits if they are working or operating in a certain community. If you're a black company operating in a white community, you need to involve one of the companies in that community, whether it is they do the deliveries or something, but they need to benefit as well from your thing that you're doing in their community.
All right, so here's a
works
question.
both ways.
If the company is owned by a white person, but then staffed entirely by black or colored people, is that a black company or a white company?
Well, you get enough points that it would be considered a black company.
Oh, there's a point system? What? So you like earn points and detract points and get demerits and shit like that? Based on the color of your employees?
I'll give an example. Say you come here and you want to operate, say, a supermarket, yeah? You come here, you own the supermarket, okay? And you have to work with, say, a delivery company that's going to deliver all your produce or whatever that's black. You can circumvent that by hiring a certain amount of people in the company or your grocery store as managers. Because managers get more points as a manager than an entry-level worker.
That sounds right.
So that's how it goes. You earn points that way.
How about men? Do men get more points than women?
No, women get more points. If you're hiring a woman and she's black, you're getting double points.
All right.
So that's where Starlink is at the moment. So we'll see what happens. It looks like somewhere or another, they're gonna end up operating in some capacity.
Yeah, here in the States, they're starting to go kind of away from, diversity, equity, and inclusion to where it's mandatory. Right? You have to have so many of these people working here and so many of this color people working here, and people are like,
if you don't comply, you can't run your business.
Well, not so much like you can't run your business, but you'll be like shunned almost. I don't know if there's any laws. This is more of a social type thing. A lot of businesses were doing it, and now they're doing away with that. They're like, let's just hire the best qualified person for the job. It's weird. I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's a hard.
I get it back in the day
because if you want to be a hard ass about it,
it used to be different. There was a lot more racism, we'll say, in certain areas. But even from the 80s till now, it's changed dramatically. Like, I'm sure there's still some places, I've been seeing some videos, there's still some real racist places here in the States. Yes, there are. But for the most part, the pockets have gotten much smaller. And there's not many places you go to work and there aren't any black people working there.
Well, I find it's the opposite around here. There are still places that are very, very, very racist, especially in the working community in these companies. You'll find black people, but they're usually entry-level people like cleaners and security guards, that kind of thing. Nobody on the executive level sometimes or management levels, and that's the readdressing part where they need to give opportunities to everyone when all things are equal, but things are never really equal. So look, it's a difficult one because some companies, if you want to be a hard ass, and you don't want to work with a black company, or you've already started operating and you don't sort of comply with the BEE requirements and that sort of thing, they don't close your company down. You just get taxed more.
Yeah,
so
it seems like the discrimination here. Go ahead, sorry.
Other companies here just use it as a way to circumvent paying too much tax. So they'll hire a lot of people of color to meet their quota, because paying them a salary sometimes is cheaper than paying the tax that you'd get charged as a company. So I don't know. It's a difficult one. It's all about readdressing the past, but how do you readdress the past?
In a time machine.
How do you readdress?
With the time machine. Otherwise, you don't.
Ideally. I mean, you get people complaining about our democracy, which is still in its infancy.
I mean, no, not ideally. That's the only way to do it. Like, otherwise, you're affecting the here and now. Right? You can make changes to the present, but you're not going to be able to affect the past. No matter what you do today will never affect the past. Will never change the past. Will never be able to make up for the past or have any sort of bearing on what the past has, the influence the past has had on up to today. All you can do is affect the present.
And hopefully change the future by affecting the present.
Change it from what?
Some people are pro, some people not so much. It's a way that our government tries to, quote unquote, make things equal, but things aren't equal. Things won't be equal for another maybe 100 years, 150 years. I don't know.
Yeah, but when a group of people comes along to pat you on your head and tell you, no, we're here to make sure that things are equal. We're here to rule over you and ensure fairness and equality amongst you. So pay your taxes to me. Make sure you ask me for permission to do shit because I'm here to ensure equality. Provided you understand that I'm fucking in charge and you are underneath me, then we can talk about how I'm going to provide you equality.
As long as you're underneath me.
Right. As long as you understand I'm the one in charge, I will give you equality for you.
It almost seems like it's more of a cultural divide than a color divide here in the United States now. If that makes any sense, Nuka.
No, I do. I've seen a lot of white people that act and talk the way some urban people do. Some urban cultural people do.
Yeah.
You mean black people?
Yeah, because the TV told them to.
The white people living in the city will act very similar to those of the urban cultural people.
Yes. Black people.
Well, I mean, white people are urban cultural people too. Aren't they?
Yeah.
I just noticed it was one group of people are based on the culture in which they live. Like they're not suburbs, they're not rural, they're urban. They have an urban culture, so those people are urban culture people. You people are white. Or black. Black is now like a race, not a color anymore, which I thought was interesting. I mean, I guess it is a color, it's both, but you mark down what your race is.
It's always been a race.
Has it? I don't think so.
Hasn't it not been? Has it not been?
No. Like when I was a kid, that was a color. Like racism, were a little more specific.
People. Yeah, you weren't allowed to call black people black. That was offensive when I was young. You don't call them black.
Oh, you white?
African American.
Well, I think when we were young, we could. Seems like African American didn't come until a little bit later.
People say black now in media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody does now. But back in the day, that was, it was like, hey, don't call them that.
You can't reduce them down to a color, you white people.
And just to get super technical, black and white aren't colors. They're shades or tones. Art nerd, I know.
They're the lack of color and the absolute infusion of color.
There he is.
All or nothing.
How you doing, Walter?
I'm good. I'm here. I've been here. I'm all about it.
I know. We're just hogging the show and
y'all aren't. I'm digging the conversation. I was actually dealing with some stuff that I didn't realize had to have happened by today. As I was checking emails before the show started, and it was like, oh, wait, this is the 4th? Oh, no. So I had to hurry up and do some stuff for tomorrow before it hit.
Yeah, you were a little quiet there, just making sure you're all right.
My bad. I didn't realize I had tuned out completely. I was listening in, for sure.
Guys,
of course, I may have had a helper. I've had the cats like just on the keyboard, so who knows? What happened, Nuka?
What happens there when two cultures sort of have to merge? So there's a boy and a girl who want to get married. One is like rural, flipping Arkansas, whatever, and the other one is quote unquote a thug. Whatever it is.
A thug? Oh, I thought you were going to say like a rich, urban, upscale dude. And I was going to tell you there's a little show you could watch called Green Acres that would show you. I'm sorry.
I'm assuming that doesn't go down well.
No, it's not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, it's a little bit different because the African people have very rich cultural sort of etiquette and heritage that you have to go through when you want to get married. And usually it's the white people in this country that generally don't have that without trying to be offensive. I mean, they're just normal people. They don't have sort of like rituals or traditions beyond having a family meal together on a Sunday or something, which is, I don't know, Christian vibes. I don't know. So and usually what happens is it's usually a black guy and then a white woman. It's just sort of always seems to be that way. And then they have to blend the cultures. And the success rate depends on the woman's family. If they want to integrate and really get immersed in the culture and be part of the family, that I think deems it if it's a success or not. Because if they don't get involved, then you live in these two separate worlds. They never really mixed. Then you bring kids into it, and they're confused, and they half this, half that. And then somewhere along the line, there's a divorce, and relationships end.
Jazz in chat made a good point. In the low-wage working world, there is little racism, and I can account to that. It is jealousy over how many hours are given, who is friends with who, and who can actually do the work. Racism is a luxury that, you know, the low-wage working people, they can't afford it.
And they don't have time to mess around with stupid shit like that.
Yeah. They're just there to get their job done.
Too good at brown nosing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've worked, you know, with all kinds of people. And some of the most fun I had was when I was the only white person there. I worked in a hospital kitchen. And that was the funnest. It was like one of my first jobs out of high school. But I had so much fun. And I was well accepted, you know. It was people that worked in a very racist town. Like the town was just starting to turn not so racist. We were starting to get some of the cops out of there and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I was just one of the gang, you know. Not the only person that was racist towards me was the like the head guy, Mr. Ayers. He didn't like me for no reason. Dude, everybody else there loved me. I get along with everybody, but he was racist.
Didn't like the way you looked.
No, and he, you know, he was college educated, yada yada yada, blah 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 blah. But all of us working for low wages, we got along great.
Who was the guy that didn't like you?
Know?
Mr. Ayers?
Ayers.
Gotcha. First name wasn't Bill, was it? Wasn't William?
I don't even know his first name.
Interesting.
No, I think his first name was Linwood.
Gotcha. You didn't work for the Weather Underground, did you?
The Digital Underground. All around the world, same song. And all around the world.
William
Which brings us to break time.
It does. I was just looking at this. William Charles Ayers is an American retired professor and former militant organizer. In 1969, Ayers co-founded the far-left militant organization, the Weather Underground, a revolutionary group that sought to overthrow the United States government by which they viewed them as an American imperialism. So there you go.
Yeah, I can see this guy being a part of that group. I really could. He was just an asshole. He was an asshole to the black people. He was just an asshole. So maybe it wasn't just me.
All right, let's take the break. We're gonna do it. Don't you guys go anywhere because we've got the second half of the first half coming up right after this.
You are your mother, and you are your father. You're the beauty and
disaster of all your ancestors, and you come to life. We are our grandmother, we are our grandfather. We are the comedy, we are the tragedy, the actor and the author, and we come to life. We come to life. You can take this seed and smash it open, and still you'll never find the oak tree hiding inside. Say, yeah, you can take this seed and smash it into bits and still never find the oak tree hiding inside. Yeah. Dream repeated in a dream retold, pass along a pattern in the epigenome. Sometimes it feels so damn controlled, but now it's time to wake up. All these roots of thought just weighing me down. I can see they're my way out. Voices from the past start to shout. It's time to make the walls drop. Within play and without pain, nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Come to life. We come to life. With intention, without tension, without words or needs to mention. Come to life. We come to life. Becoming awakened, a new direction being taken. One by one we're gathering a full stampede, and we give it all. We give it all. 'Cause there ain't nothing that we need. There ain't nothing that we need. 'Cause we're coming to life, come a brand new day. Never too late to change our way. Supported by a forest of our family trees. Can take this seed and smash it open, and still you'll never find the oak tree hiding inside. Say, yeah, you can take this drop of water, analyze it to the end of time, not see the ocean inside. Someday we'll all be somebody's ancestor, foolish, the clever, the hero, the jester. Blessing and curses handed on down. Right how the story turns out. Move information through generations. Mythological map to the treasure. Hear the echo when we listen. Hear the echo now. Within sight and without pain. Nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Come to life. We come to life. With intention, without tension, without words or needs to mention. Come to life. We come to life. Our sons, and we are our daughters. We are the entire ocean. We are just a drop of water.
Hi, this is Alan. I like IRONWORX because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love IRONWORX with Josh, Walt, and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that IRONWORX with Josh, Walt, and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the IRONWORX.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. IRONrealmmedia is the best on the plane. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the IRONWORX with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the IRONWORX and become an Iron Scout.
Except kids falling off bikes, maybe. Fuck, I could watch kids fall off bikes all day. I don't give a shit about your kids.
Good morning, good morning. We talked the whole night through. Good morning to you. Good morning, it's great to stay up late. Good morning to you.
And welcome back to the second half of the first half of the IRONWORX, kicking off right now. Yeah, we're back. Well,
so how's the reading there in South Africa, Nuka?
Reading?
Yeah, are most children proficient at reading?
No. They're struggling.
Yeah. Same here. Like, it doesn't matter what color, race, creed, none of that stuff. If you're in the suburbs, if you're in the city, children in this country are no longer learning how to read for some reason.
Well, what I meant is the poor kids, they're struggling with the reading levels. If you live in a suburb or you go to a private school, they're fine. They're above average.
Private schools might be doing better, but public schools, like just about everywhere in the country, are not reading at the level they're supposed to be. Like children in middle school, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, are reading at a third grade
schools
reading
work
level.
there. So how do schools work there? Say you want to go to a high school. Do you have to go to the high school that's closest to you?
Unless you want to pay and go to a private school.
Well, this is all sort of up for debate. The way it is now may not necessarily the way it's going to be in the future.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk of changes, being able to go to any school.
Yeah, you take the money that you pay
regardless of
into
where you
taxes and you can apply that money to whatever school you can get your child to. But as it is now, they have separated into districts, and depending on where your house is located, if it's located in a specific school district, that's the school district your child's going to attend. And then they kind of break it down even more.
School district sucks?
Move somewhere where you have to pay a lot more property tax so that the schools get a lot more money so that the school doesn't suck. Or
my girlfriend used our address. She lived in the next county over, and she did not want to go to school in that county because it sucked. So her parents used our address and said that she was living with us for her last 2 years of schooling, even though she didn't. So there's there's little loopholes you can lie to get around it, but yeah, it would probably be frowned upon if they would have caught it. But yeah, it's like strict. You can't just be like, oh, I don't like that school, even though I live, like right in the middle of these two schools. You think you'd be able to pick? No. Since she was living in that school district, she would have had to go to that school without having an address change.
Well, here you send your kid to the school that will take her or him. There's obviously good schools, not so great schools, and shit schools. And more often than not, all the township schools are the really bad ones that have no funding, that have the lazy teachers, that have no sporting equipment or grounds or anything really. So then all the kids end up trying to go to the schools that are in the suburbs or suburb adjacent. But those schools, they have to try and take in a certain amount of people from the local area first before they consider other people from other areas. So there's always been a big debate about that, because sometimes you go to a colored community and may have a really good primary school, but it's a colored community and most of the teachers are colored, and their job is to try and take in the local children first and then consider other people from the outside. And then you have parents that will argue that if my child has good enough grades and I want to send him to the school, this kid should get preferential treatment, or they need to be picked before somebody else because they have the better marks. And there's always that argument. But here you can send them anywhere you want or can afford.
Yeah, there's an issue with teachers in this country, I believe. Like, once you've taught for so long, you get this thing called tenure, and you can't be fired, pretty much, unless you, not for your performance so much. Like, you can't go around diddling kids and shit like that. Think you're going to be safe, right? You still have to follow the laws, but if your children, you're no longer really teaching them how to read and they're not learning anything in your class, that's not due for firing, expulsion, right? It's not a merit-based system, the education system. And a lot of these teachers, I think they get burned out and then they just quit caring. So kids come in and
they're burned out because they don't get enough support. How many kids is a teacher supposed to have in a classroom to be able
about
to teach
30.
effectively?
We had classes about 30 when I was in school. They tried to keep them right around there. But teachers back then also weren't having to compete with cell phones and all this other bullshit.
No, they had corporal punishment.
Have now.
You had corporal punishment to keep 30 kids in line.
Uh-huh. I learned real quick, first grade. Watch the kid get swatted. Like, okay, I'll be good. They're starting to bring it back here in the States. There's parents that are writing in. Missouri. Parents are pushing for it. They're saying, no, if my child is bad, you spank him on his bottom. Period.
Yeah, you get parents like that here too. They say, I'm not coming out of work for bullshit. If he's naughty, give him a hiding. I'll deal with it at home when he or she comes back.
How many more creeps you think started applying to be teachers after that went into effect?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just seems like there's a conscious effort from all these governments, and I don't care what country you're from, where there's just an effort from them to make sure that the public is not educated or we get a subpar education compared to their children that they send to all these fancy schools.
Who would you reckon has the highest incident of reported abuse on children? The church? Like the Catholic Church?
Priests, probably.
Or the public education system?
Okay,
public
teachers.
education.
Yup.
And it's done by women, believe it or not.
So I
now. Oh, go ahead, Walter.
I noticed a comment in chat about not worrying too much about the kids due to the fact that this person ain't got none, you see. Here's the deal. I get it, but who is it that's going to be taking care of you when you're older? And I don't mean like your personal kids. I mean your society around you. It's going to be those idiot fucks that are standing at the register, sitting on the bag carousel with their phone out, not greeting you, not thanking you, not even acknowledging you when you walk up to them. Those are the people who are going to be in charge. Just think that through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't teach the children because they're yours. You teach them because society needs that done to keep functioning properly. We've been getting dumber and dumber and dumber by the decade.
And the discipline of these kids is probably the worst thing.
Well, that's, again, there's so many, like, you can't spank your child in public. I've seen so many videos of a child just running amok in a store or something like that, right? And the parent's like, I don't know what to do. If I spank them right here in front of people, someone's going to call child services and they're going to come and take my child away. Or just smacking them on the bottom, not beating them, not pulling out a wrench and thumping them over the head, you know, a swat on the butt. And there are people out there that will call child services and say that you're beating your child. I'm sorry, every child deserves to get a swat on the butt from time to time.
Every 4 hours, whether they need it or not. I'm all aboard.
You don't reason with children. They don't have reasoning skills yet. You tell them. You don't ask them. You tell them what to do. You're the adult. You're in charge. There's too many parents out there that don't want to be parents. They want to be the child's friend. So you can be their friend after you've taught them how to be an adult and they're grown up. That's when you can be their friend. But right now, you're a parent. They need to act like it more. Sorry. Hi, Andrew. How
What's
you
up,
doing?
Andrew B?
I am doing very well. I was staying passive for quite a bit until you started bringing up teaching. And I'm a teacher. I'm a college instructor. But what does it mean to be a teacher? I have an answer. I'm just curious about what everyone else has to say.
To be a teacher, your job is to impart knowledge to your students that can benefit them as they move on in life. I don't know.
It's a tough question, isn't it?
Somebody who inspires children to want to learn is a good teacher. In my opinion.
Well, if you want to go into the children aspect, that's different, but also associated.
Well, inspires anybody to want to learn.
I guess, yeah, that's a good question, a clarifying question I'll need, Andrew. Are we talking about what is a teacher in the context of the conversation we were having, or are you shifting gears and now what is the general definition of the word teacher?
Well, the context of what was being discussed, as well as the general overlying concept.
And so then my description stands. You have knowledge that you need to impart to your students. That's your job as a teacher. To make sure to find ways to inspire them to impart this knowledge to them.
Okay. A teacher does not have to be employed and getting paid.
In the context of the conversation that we were having, it does. Yes? When we're talking about the public school system and how it is the people that we employ at the public school system to impart that knowledge to our children on a day-to-day basis? I thought that was sort of inclusive to the.
I may have missed that part. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, we were discussing the differences in public school systems in South Africa versus America, the United States.
Well, you can go to, there's different school systems throughout the world. South Africa, Russia, and pick your flavor of wherever you want to go to.
Lots of places.
And their school systems are going to be very, very different. But when it comes to how the teachers are going to be teaching, then it's a very big impact on how that society is going to grow.
Did you have corporal punishment in school as a kid?
No, I didn't.
How different would your job be now if you were allowed corporal punishment as a teacher?
Oh, I would fucking love that. Oh, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
You'd have the big yardstick sitting on a pedestal right on his desk. Whap! Right across the knuckles. Do it again.
No, I would just spray him in the face with like vodka or something.
You'll have the original Dazed and Confused movie prop. The Board of Education says FAHQ on the handle, just ready to swing and smack the shit out of anybody.
Well, I like joking around, but at the same time, this is partially my profession. So, what does it mean to be a teacher, an instructor, a professor? These different concepts. A lot of people don't actually think about it very much because they've never worked in that field.
What's the word rabbi mean?
So, I have no fucking clue. I'm not Jewish.
It's teacher.
Is it really?
Teacher of the Torah, right?
Now that much I don't know.
Well,
or the Talmud.
I thought you could use it as a general description.
So can I just
like capital R, lowercase r, maybe?
Can I put that in my work profile? Rabbi Andrew?
I think with the lowercase r, I don't see why not. Just sprinkle in some Yiddish throughout the rest of it.
A capital R.
Well, I think that might be teacher of the Torah.
So
they're trying a new teaching thing, and it's taken off. Really, I think it's more like Finland's way of teaching. You get like 2 hours of reading, writing, arithmetic in the morning. And there's like 3 long recesses throughout the day. But like after your couple hours of reading, writing, and arithmetic, you go into like a job skill type, either working with your hands or learning how to run a business. And they do a lot of mock businesses and mock jobs for the rest of the day. That's a lot more hands-on. And they're finding that the test scores of these children going to these schools are way outperforming public or even private schools that do it the traditional way. And I agree, you have to stimulate the child's mind. 7 hours or 8 hours of sitting there on your butt, listening to some teacher drone on, you lose interest. And then you just zone it out and you don't actually take in any of that knowledge. But once you get the reading, writing, and arithmetic out of the way, let them do something that they want. If they can read, write, add, and subtract, then everything else beyond that it should be something that they're excited about learning.
It's about history being is important. Engaging.
But I took history for 12 years in school. It's like, how much history do you really have to learn? Do I really need to know that the Battle of Hastings happened in 1066. No. That was over 1,000 years ago. Who gives a shit? Put some knowledge into these children's brain that will help them in the future. And maybe get them exciting about
totally
coming back to school the next day. Yeah. No, these schools are taking off. They're building them in, I think, 12 other states now. They started it in Texas, and they're small. There's only like 30 kids that go to the school or something like that. But the results are just exceptional. Why not have a bunch of these schools in a town where there's only 30 or 40 kids going to?
Here's a little bit of information for a lot of people that probably are not even aware of this. Some of the top universities in the country, such as MIT, Harvard, Stanford, the college I work at, they're private colleges. They are not state funded.
Mm-hmm.
They're private. And the most expensive college is Columbia. And then there's also Duke and the list goes on, Caltech. But these are private colleges, and they have the most successful students in the country. The state-sponsored colleges, they're shit. Like, I went to a state-sponsored college, San Jose State University, and no, it's a fucking piece of shit. Those people are just there to get their
paycheck.
Yeah, it's just their paycheck.
I bet most of the teachers have tenure. Yeah, they all have tenure, and they just don't care anymore. They're not going to advance any more than they are, so they're just coasting until retirement.
So this goes back. I teach at a private college, and sorry, I'm not going to tell people where I work. I'm actually going to be probably switching colleges here pretty soon. But jobs. But either way, what does it mean to be a teacher? Parents or siblings to siblings? What does it mean? To pass on information in a logical and feasible way. That's my personal
I'm a teacher.
Answer to that. Yes, you are.
I was teaching Jaron all about stuff yesterday.
And this is where I was going. You know how observant fucking kids are? Like, just how observant. Well, some kids, I suppose, these days with all the sugar and dyes. They're a little hyped up, bouncing off the walls. But when I was a kid, I was relatively observant. Like, this is the idea of trying to be a good person and promoting positive things in society, because the kids, that's what the kids learn. They watch, they learn, they mimic. Like, everybody's a teacher to the children around them. I saw a comment in the chat, it takes a village. It doesn't necessarily take a village, but a village is what teaches. Like, those kids are going to grow up in a society and learn and behave in that society according to what they have learned on how to behave. So we are all teachers in so much as that we are examples to the generations behind us. And that's not even counting and getting into the idea of this pre-Germanic indoctrination system that is designed in a way that creates little citizens to be either good workers or good soldiers, but still good in so much as that they recognize the authority of the government that is obviously above them. And that when the government says, look, we need you to go kill these people, you will go kill the people that the government tells you to, because you were good and indoctrinated in the public school system. Right. What is a teacher? Fuck. Lots of ways to interpret what a teacher is. I have a little more to add to that.
Lots
the
of
break
ways.
is coming.
It is break
Being a
time.
Teacher.
No, go ahead. Finish up. Just knock it out. Shit, we're not on that tight of a schedule. Do what you do,
being
Andrew.
A teacher is being a leader. And when you might think about this in regards to age or subject, that's sort of relevant. But let's just say that a husband and wife, they have children, and they have a 5-year-old, and then they have a 2-year-old. Well, the 5-year-old is going to be teaching their younger sibling. And that is being a leader. So if you're going to be teaching, you have to understand the basic concepts of being a leader. And you have to be dominant. And that's the last thing I have to say on it for now.
All right. So let's take a break. We'll be right back. That's the halfway point. We've still got another full hour of the Ironworks coming up right after this.
We wait for the harvest in the season of harvest that was shown through the ages that brings us to see everything that was started by the dearly departed. May it live on forever for the future to be. To bring about our destiny.
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Okay, dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. There was one? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
And welcome back to the first half of the second half of the Ironworks, kicking off right now.
Thank you, Josh. So that song we just heard is called Season of Promise. Wonder who it's by. It's by Alter Bridge, and it speaks to what I think about teaching and teachers and being a steward of the future. I was born into a family who, my father being an alcoholic and working away from home all the time, was a very negative influence in my life at the time, to the point that my mother chose to divorce him when I was like 7, and my brother and my sister were younger, to get that influence out of our lives, because he had been raised under a certain type of influence that was very negative and brought about a bunch of negativity in her life. So rather than that be the continuation of our lives, she got away from that source of etc. So I had an uncle who my son is named after, who was my brother's brother, and he was my father. He was my teacher. He was the person that taught me just basic life things, you know. Any job worth doing is worth doing well. Man does this, a man does that. And a lot of it had nothing to do with, reading, writing, arithmetic. It was about how to be a person who's a good person, a caring, loving person, a harsh person at times, a very stern person at times. But when you were told to do something by Uncle Quentin, you did it. And it wasn't even a question of like, oh, if I don't do it, I'm going to get a spanking. It was the respect that he had earned by being the living example of what a man was at that time. Now, granted, there's, changes that happen throughout lives and society and culture and all that. And I get that, and things are different. But when my son came into this world, had that same goal, to live a life that taught him how to be and how to help and how to care and how to love, not how to dominate, how to get over on, and how to be a business wizard and anything else, So it's all, to me, about teaching is a more personal thing. When I got to first grade, I had a first grade teacher who was phenomenal, and she quickly picked up on the fact that I had been reading since I was 2. And, after I finished the 3rd or 4th book, and everybody's still on the 3rd page of See Dick Run, she just basically gave me art supplies and let me do my own thing and would call on me when it was appropriate. So, again, there's different ways to looking at teaching, both in school and away from school. And I kind of got off on a big ramble here because luckily my father and I did make some mending of some bridges and some fences and stuff there at the last years of his life. So that was a bonus. And, but just being a person that is an example. And I guess being a leader is part of that too, Andrew. I guess that's part of that, being a leader in how you are in a community, how you are with the rest of your family, Because a lot of what has happened in our world is that has been broken completely. Society, there is no community anymore, Most people don't know their next door neighbor, let alone the person that lives 2 blocks away from them, You know, when I grew up, I knew everybody in my town. I was loose in my town because we all knew everybody, and it was a small town. And I get all that; it's different in big cities, but that's part of why they put us in these fucking big cities, is to make that happen, is to keep these communities from forming and these groups of people who help each other rather than hinder and overlord over each other. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. Walt, rant over.
Okay. No, that's Walt rant is great. Go ahead.
It almost seems like the bigger the town, you know, the smaller the community. If that makes sense.
Yep, absolutely. That's a good way to put it. Yep.
Oh yeah, because it's way more confined, like by neighborhood or block or something like that.
Yeah, like in the big cities, people put up a shell. If they don't know you already, they don't want to know you. There's too many people. I don't need to know any more people. I have my little community, this and that, yada, yada, yada. You go to a big city, and it's not everybody, but you're going to find a lot more people telling you to piss off if you go up and ask them a question. Or ask them, hey, do you know how I get to so-and-so? Yeah, get out of here. I don't know you. But you go into a small little town, and you could ask anybody, hey, do you know where? Oh, yeah, here. Are you new in town? Where are you from? Blah, blah. They'll sit there and have a conversation with you for a half hour. But the bigger the city, it's like the less time people are willing to spare with a stranger. Liz got to see a big city. We went into Charlotte Monday.
Has Liz gone to the rodeo yet?
That's this weekend.
I still want to hear her describe what the rodeo is like.
Know. I can't wait.
But when it comes to being a teacher, it's one of those things that you can do as a parent, as an adult, an older brother, older sister, things like that. But when it comes to actually doing it as a profession, then I am not one of those people that just reads out of the textbooks and regurgitates that bullshit. No, I go against the grain very much. So I try to be a leader. And
all my best teachers went against the grain. Or at least my favorite teachers. All my favorite teachers, the ones who taught me the most, kind of went against the grain.
Yeah. And I think that's a very good teacher. So
Taught
I
me
learned
to think,
from the...
not to just listen and regurgitate, but actually taught me how to think. And pointed out the ridiculousness of society in some places. You know? Like my favorite teachers, they all hated politics and stuff like that. And they let it be known.
Yeah, it's a very difficult
I think to be a good teacher, you have to tell the truth too. Even the not so fun truths to tell. Like, hey, we were the bad guys here. Do you get it? I know the government and the TV's telling you we're the good guys, but we're the bad guys here. Stuff like that, Don't just listen to what the TV and your government tells you. Think about it critically and then make up your own mind. Yeah, don't follow lead. A good teacher teaches you how to lead.
The unfortunate thing that's happening nowadays, even in private colleges, like the one I teach at, is that if we start to go political, all it takes is for one student to go anonymously up to the front office and talk to the dean, and then all of a sudden I'm on a list, and then I get an email about this anonymous student. So there's a bunch of bullshit that goes into being a teacher, but I don't really care. I've never been fired from teaching. I've just gotten warnings. That's it.
If you ain't getting warnings, you're not doing your job, right?
I guess so. I mean, I have said some provocative type of jokes in front of the class, in which case those people are just little bitches. Like, yeah, I would never hire you kind of situation. But when it comes to being a teacher, a 5-year-old can teach a 2-year-old. A mother can teach her children. Mothers and fathers will teach each other. Part of the
and a
growing
good
process.
teacher will also learn from their students.
Oh yeah, they make us better.
Part of it too, exactly. That 2-year-old can teach you something, and you have to be willing enough and open enough to accept that knowledge. Some people don't like learning from people that they think are less than they are, right? But sometimes a child asks a question, and you're like, whoa, I've never thought of that before. Wow.
Well, that's where a lot of people have to swallow their pride and suck it up, and like their arrogance, they're conceited, something like that. Like, well, I was wrong. But a lot of people, it's cognitive dissonance. That's basically the way to explain it. And some people don't want to accept it. They can't accept it because the learning process is difficult. Especially when
they already learned this. You mean I was wrong and now I got to learn something else? Man, screw that. I'll just keep saying it's this.
So the other thing I'm going to be bringing up, I have to prep it a little bit. Sorry, Walt.
No, I think this is a great idea. Don't tell us about it. Tell us about it, how you're going to tell us about it first.
Oh, okay. So there's this thing called the drinking bird. Have you guys ever heard of it?
The drinking bird? Is that the little
you know what?
water in the bottom?
When I was in the Marine Corps, it was all about the Wild Turkey 101. So I'm pretty well acquainted with the drinking bird, yes.
I don't... No, it's not the wild turkey, no. No, this is a perpetual motion machine.
Right, the red liquid and the bottom and the felt on his
I
face.
only accept the one with the top hat, though. It's got to have a top hat, or I'm not.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll unbox this and show it to you guys. It's just I haven't figured out how to make it perpetual yet. And once I have all the wires and I've got the full works. So
wires? What do you got?
I mean, it's not a real perpetual motion machine, Andrew?
No, I'm trying to make it using Lenz's law to cut the lines of magnetic force, magnetic fields. So to generate a certain amount of magnetic field, it's producing that amount of magnetic field and cutting the lines of magnetic field force by a certain amount at a certain time. That's Lenz's law, also Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law is bullshit, by the way. This guy's a fucking idiot. That should be just scrapped from fucking textbooks. Anyways, I have 2 of these things that just arrived today. And yeah, it does have a top hat on it. So maybe after the break, this next coming break, I'll get one out and I will live stream it to you guys. I'm brand new to this. So I'm going to build a commutator for it. I'm going to attach that to a capacitor bank along with some diodes, and I'm going to try to see how much energy storage this thing can actually produce. So, anyways, It's free energy. In my opinion, is absolutely real, but it's somewhat illegal.
Well, you're somewhat of a rebel.
By the way,
what?
What? What? I captured. Real quick, I got bit by a black widow a few weeks ago, and I think I finally found that. Oh, I squished him with my bong.
No, but are you shooting webs or anything yet?
I
know that's why you didn't
it doesn't
go to the
work, but it doesn't work.
Yeah. You got to get the fingers just right in the right placement. You'll figure it out.
Wait, when did they change the color of his water?
It's not red.
It's not. They've got green. Well, I see red still in some of the photos, but I see green liquid in some of them. I see blue liquid. That's not right. What color liquid you got in yours, Andrew?
Red.
Okay, that's correct. You shouldn't even be. They shouldn't even be allowed to go into perpetual motion. You need to just totally segregate those birds. Keep all the green ones and the blue ones in their own little section. Only the red ones should rule the working perpetual motion birds.
Oh, they're what do you call that? Colorist, like racist. I don't know. How the fuck do you?
Well, maybe you didn't know this, but black and white are races as well as colors.
I'm gonna get this prepared. So after the break, I will go live.
Nice.
Man, they got this dude all messed up here. He don't even have a red head anymore. What is happening in this world? Children are so confused now.
I dropped a song in chat there, Josh.
I saw it. I have it queued.
I believe that's where Tupac got his start. If anybody in chat knows, drop the answer in there. So I found this article. South Carolina Attorney General announces settlement against company for role in opioid crisis. So I know they said they were going to be going after the opioid, producers for the giant opioid pandemic we've been having for decades here in this country. And $7.8 billion settlement. So they didn't even want to go to court. They settled outside of court against the Purdue Pharma and the Sackler family for their role. The settlement permanently removes the Sackler family from leading Purdue Pharma, and the family is now permanently prohibited from selling opioids in the United States.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That's insane. Under the Sacklers' leadership, Purdue invented, manufactured, and aggressively marketed opioid products for decades, fueling waves of addiction and overdose deaths across the country. Their actions led to widespread addiction, suffering, and death in communities across the country, including South Carolina, Wilson said in a statement provided Tuesday. South Carolina has joined California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Illinois, Massachusetts, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Texas, Vermont, Virginia, and West Virginia in the settlement case. They said the Sackler family knowingly drove an epidemic that shatters family and took thousands of lives. So what? They had to pay some money?
I was saying like $7 billion is like not much for the Sackler family.
No, that's what I'm saying. If you knowingly did this, shouldn't there be people sitting in little cells made out of concrete with iron bars? Well, to them, that's like a slap on the wrist.
Right. That means the next stage of fentanyl or opioids, whatever they're going to sell, they got to figure, well, we know it's going to cost us at least $7 or $8 billion. So as long as we can make more of that in profit, then we're good. Right? If we make $12 billion off of this and we have to pay $7 of that to the government as a fee, right? My little tax that they want to charge me through the court system for getting everybody addicted as much as we can, and fine, whatever, we'll do it again. It's fine. It's only $7 billion.
Yeah, they should be sitting in a cage. I'm sorry. Demons. I had a buddy who was in pharmaceutical sales. And we'll just say he wasn't the most upright, good-natured. He was like a salesman, pretty much, kind of a slime ball. Not somebody I would trust, with my dog, we'll say. And he couldn't handle it anymore. The slimy, being that slimy and that horrible to be pushing these things. Because he would go to the doctor's office and be like, hey, if you give them these, blah, 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 we'll send you to Aruba or this or that or blah, 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 cash or whatever they wanted. And it was too slimy for one of the slimiest people I've ever known. So yeah, to actually be the ones in charge of it, no, you should be sitting in a cell. I'm sorry. That's my 2 cents out.
I completely agree.
So it's really just going to go from one family to the next family that gets to do it now.
Uh-huh.
Right? They made their billions and billions and whatever. So now it's time for their buddies to take over, and they can do it under their name for a while. We'll be back around in 80 years or so once society forgets what we actually did. Are families constantly rising and falling in America, or are they just on a carousel where they come back around again after their atrocities are forgotten?
It's all about the rebrand.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was my grandpa. I'm not like that. That was my great-grandpa. We're good now. Have our drugs.
We're not Monsanto. We're Bayer.
Yeah. Change the name. Make a nice commercial with sunsets and a deer drinking from a brook.
And a
How
person
can you
at the
not
end
trust
telling you all the possible things that could happen to you if you take this medicine. If you take it now, this is what will happen. This is all going to happen to you if you take it. Don't worry. You will have side effects. They're coming your way.
And that's how we avoid legal prosecution.
Yeah. We told you. We told you. While you were busy looking at the deer, drinking the water.
Well, Walt, you were actually really good at that.
I used to make commercials for radio quite often. And I had to quick speak at the end of quite a few of our little car spots. And then
Like the Micro Machine Man?
Basically, you have a certain amount of time to get all that crap in. And I finally just learned how to speed myself up with the editor and make it happen.
That's it. We're going to take a break. Final break of this fine Wednesday morning. Thunderstorms. It's going to be raining for like the next 4 days here. So. Yay. But don't you folks go anywhere, because we will be right back for the fourth and final right after this.
Billingtano got it right. Well done.
Been all around the world. Been all around the world. Been all around the world.
Yo, we've been all around the world.
Been all around the world. Been all around the world.
for the party, to get naughty, get my rocks on, eat popcorn, watch you move your body to the pop song that I'm singing, ding-a-linging, funky beats ringing, everybody swinging in the place as I kick the J-A-Z-Z-Y style, R&B, mixing it with the hip-hop swing beat, champagne in my hand, it won't be long till I'm gone. It's just the same old song.
It's just a freestyle, meanwhile I keep the beat kicking. Sweat dripping, girlies in the limo eating chicken. Oops, don't get the grease on your pantyhose. I love you, Rover, move over, I gotta blow my nose. Sneezing, but still I'm pleasing all the slimmies. Pull out my Jimmy, time to get busy with a Jenny. If it's good and plenty, don't you know? There I go, there I go, there I go. But I don't go nowhere without my gym hat. What I'm rapping is if she's clapping, then I'm strapping, cause I'm smarter than that. And then girlie, maybe we can get along. Cutie after cutie, it's just the same old song. It's the same old song, y'all. Same song. It's just the same old song. It's the same song.
Money big, the freaky dicky, the squeaky wicky up and down. Well, as a matter of fact, I'll be right back, I gotta take a leaky. So I'm draining entertainers, but I got fame, and the bases I touch, too much for me to try to be naming. Hey yo, he saw me on cable and grin. I busted in and I was going to win. Like Clark Gable back in Oakland, it's the same old song for Sporty Shorty. Same freckles and hat, drinking the same Ford.
Hypothetical, political, lyrical, miracle whip, just like butter. My rhymes are legit, cause I'm the Humpty, not Humpty Dumpty, but Humpty Hump. Here a hump, there a hump, everywhere I'm Humpty Hump.
Shut up and just listen, not dissing, don't get me wrong. But to me it's just the same old song, so just watch, cause my name is Shock, I like to rock and you can't stop this. Tupac, go ahead and rock this.
Now I clown around when I hang around with the underground. Girls used to frown, say I'm down when I come around. Gas me, and when they pass me, they used to diss me, harass me. But now they ask me if they can kiss me. Get some fame, people change, wanna live their life high. Same song can't go wrong if I play the nice guy.
Claiming fame must have changed now that we became strong.
I remain still the
Why
same,
too?
cause it's the same song.
It's the same song. Same old song, y'all. Check hands, shout out. Shout out, stop. It's just the same old song. Yeah, Humpty Hump in the house, y'all. And you know what? It's the same old song. And all around the world, same song.
Good morning, good morning. We talked the whole night through. Good morning to you. Good morning, it's great to stay up late. Good morning to you.
Hi, this is Alan. I like IRONWORX because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love IRONWORX with Josh, Walt, and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cozy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that IRONWORX with Josh, Walt, and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the IRONWORX.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. IronRealmmedia is the best on the plane. To the show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the IRONWORX with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the IRONWORX and become an Iron Scout.
Time to make the donut.
big shout out to Loretta Sweat, who passed away on, I guess, Sunday? Something like that. I just saw.
Yeah, I meant to
Monday.
drop something and I completely forgot to.
That was crazy. Hot Lips Houlihan.
Hot Lips, yeah.
Wow, how old was she? She had to be up there.
87.
She was great in that show. Playing her role that she played. I haven't watched MASH in a long time.
Andrew, I don't know if you've seen at all.
The show or the movie?
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, just real quick. I just wanted to point out to Andrew that Laura in chat
go.
has been asking about some questions in regards to an electrical motor. I think that she has for a lawnmower and an armature that she's trying to replace but can't find and needs to improvise some sort of substitution, and was wanting to pick your brain a little bit, I believe.
Oh, I apologize. I don't look at chat too often when I'm on a live stream.
Yeah, I just wanted
as
to...
a guest or
Did
even
you call
as
that thing a solenoid, Andrew?
a solenoid is an electrically activated switch, like a spring.
What's the
So your
thing on
car
the side of the lawnmower that goes right around the fan? I know that thing on lawnmowers is one of the things that always goes bad. There's a little... I forget what it's called. I'll let me see if I can find it. I'll look it
It
up.
might be a solenoid. I'm not a lawnmower expert, but I'm gonna put my phone number in chat. Like, I don't care. I'm sort of like Mark Sargent. I don't give a fuck.
So taking a left
Yeah,
turn really...
a few lawnmowers. Sorry, Walter.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, I've had to repair a few different lawnmowers, and this thing was one of the things that would always be an issue. I'll see if I can't find it.
Well, yeah, it might be the solenoid, because when you turn a key, which is a temporary starting point of a circuit, it will energize the circuit, but then it closes the starting coil and energizes the starting relay, and which the relay at that point energizes the solenoid, which is basically just a spring, and then from there it starts the lawnmower or a car.
Yeah, I don't think she's diagnosed.
Do you know how you spell that?
And Walking Axle says not a solenoid. Okay, I'm looking at chat now.
Yeah, she's not trying to diagnose.
Armature?
Yeah, she knows it's an armature that she wants replaced.
Oh, okay.
The copper
An armature
coil
is part of a motor.
I think that which the brushes brush against.
Yeah, brushes and armatures and motors don't really exist anymore. We've gone beyond that.
Yes, she's not building a new one. She's trying to repair her old one.
Trying to repair her old one.
Oh, okay. Well, I think, she can call me. I've spoken with her, so I think I have. Wait, who was asking that?
That's Walking Axle there in chat. That's Laura.
Oh, that? No, unfortunately, no. I've not spoken with her. I've spoken with another lady. But there's my phone number. I put it in chat. I mean, I'm not bashful.
Everybody spam him. Spam him.
She saw that you were in chat earlier, and I think was just reaching out because she saw that you'd popped into chat real quick and asked if you were still there when she posed the question to you. But then since you were here, I thought maybe it'd be a good idea to point it out in hopes that maybe we could somehow get that lawnmower repaired.
Yeah, lawnmowers
What was I about to
are
tell you?
mostly...
I'm sorry. I thought I had.
Lawnmowers are mostly mechanical, so I'm electrical, not mechanical. Even though I do both. But all right, I'm going to shut up, Walt. Please.
You're good. No. I have my brain's gone now. Like the cats have stepped on and unmuted me while I'm sitting here going, "What was I talking about?" So we played the MASH song, and then Laura Swift. Okay, what were we talking about?
What was
maybe it was the movie versus the show or something?
That
maybe?
could have been it. Can anybody tell me what Hot Lips
If you haven't seen
first
the
name was?
movie, go see it. Go watch it. It's really a great old movie, really set in its own time frame. And when you have a character named Spear Chucker Jones, you got to be careful. But the movie's
And
fucking
who is
phenomenal.
the only person in the movie and the show? You don't get to guess, though, Walter. I know you know the answer.
I can't guess. Okay, I'll shut up.
Nope. Do you know, Josh? Andrew?
I know I knew at one point.
Repeat it one more time.
The only person to be in the MASH movie and the MASH TV show.
I grew up listening to that whole thing, but no, I no. Gun to my head, no clue.
Anybody in chat know? Josh? You can't start no shit now, are you?
Nope, not me.
Somewhere saying like, people are not even. I have no idea what the answer is, but the answers people are putting into chat don't seem to make sense.
There's some good ones. I see an Alan Alda. That's not a bad guess. Not correct, but
not it. But that's a good guess.
It was Radar O'Reilly.
Radar O'Reilly. What was his real name?
What does Radar stand for?
Just like in real life or in the movie? Oh,
this was a trivia question I had for Jaron and Zach.
Let me go see
what does Radar stand for.
I forget. At range.
It's radio detection and ranging. Radio detection and ranging.
There's no A though. Shouldn't it be radio or radar?
I didn't make it up. I mean, it's just that's what it stands for.
Radar. Sounds like something Big Pine might hear while he's out on the water. Radar.
Well, it's sort of like Navy SEAL. Like it doesn't stand for sea, air, and land. Well, actually, it does. That's what Navy SEAL, sea, air, and land. They're the most versatile combat troop in existence. But yeah, Navy SEAL, not like a fucking.
I bet some of those Spetsnaz guys would disagree with you. And actually, isn't Delta Force like the best of the special forces?
No, it's considered. We can
radio
talk about that.
Something. I know it's radio something, but it's been a long time ago. I can't remember either. I'm gonna cheat. Give me a second.
Delta Force is urban warfare, anti-terrorist specialization.
So it's like the difference between doing team sports. It's like football and chess. You're the best football team. You're the Navy SEALs. If you want to be the best chess player, the best solo, you're probably going to be Delta Force or something other than the SEALs.
Yeah.
SEALs are great for a team activity, but like solo out there one-on-one tearing shit up, it's not going to be a Navy SEAL.
Well, it's sort of like the LAPD versus like the NYPD. It's like they're just going to be competing non-stop against each other. Like, who's the best?
Radio detection and ranging. I found it.
I fucking said it. Yes.
Oh, I didn't hear it. I was picking up a lamp my cat's knocked over. I apologize. I put my headset down and walked over across the room where they had knocked a lamp down, and I missed it. So, yeah, I was remembering it. Damn it.
I want to see Josh with all of his bunnies in the same room as him at the same time.
Yeah, Josh don't want to see that.
Yeah. Well, two things about that. Not all of my bunnies are in the same room. So 4 are in the living room, 2 are in here with me in the studio. And
You have 6 bunnies?
I have 3 pairs, you asshole.
Whoa! Hey!
You know what kind of hoarder that makes me sound like? What kind of crazy maniac that makes me sound like? Some old dude just living alone in his house with 6 rabbits? No.
8 cats, Josh. I don't want to hear about it.
4 pair, Walter.
4 pairs. That's how it works.
Damn,
Octagon, one octagon of cats.
First time ever.
Yeah, no. They don't all get along. One of the ones that are in the kitchen is like disliked by all the other bunnies except his bondmate. So Harris and Evie exist, but Harris is so disliked by the rest of the rabbits, we have to keep them isolated. Like Yango and Yennefer, who are in here with me, if Yango even sees Harris, he gets so angry, he just starts freaking out on Yennefer. So it's like he just can't control himself. He hates Harris so much that the very sight of Harris turns him into like the Incredible Hulk bunny, and he just starts attacking his bondmate. And then they have to stay separated for a little while until they calm down. And
that's so nice.
Benny and Dahlia aren't much different.
How often do you see them do that little the back foot stomp?
The thump?
When they get a little, the thump. Yeah,
they might do it once a week. I mean, it depends. I mean, it really depends. Like individually or when they all get going. Because sometimes once one starts, they all will start thumping. It becomes 6 rabbits.
Well, I thought that.
I mean, 3 pairs of rabbits all thumping at the same time.
Yeah, it's like when they get irritated or they're upset or something. That's when they'll do that.
Or it's like also, yes, that is correct. When they're pissed off and irritated, they do sometimes thump. And then also sometimes when they're trying to alarm other rabbits or just sound an alarm in general, they will thump. Just, hey.
Do they ever do it in unison or harmony?
No.
Put the beat down for you?
I've not seen any real patterns or rhythmic aspects to their thumping. It's all just sort of randomized, but
whap, whap.
You don't think
that's when you're home. When you're not home,
right? That's when they're practicing.
Their sound.
On Thugs and Harmony when you're not home.
All right. So would it be a bad idea for me, being a single man with a girlfriend who only comes over like 3 times or 4 times per week, to get some like 2 rabbits? Would that be a bunnies? Would that be a bad idea?
You're not home enough, Andrew.
Yeah, you'll want to be home more. And especially as much as you're going to need to invest in them, you'll want to not be away from them that much. And really, they do need sort of observation and participation in. They're social animals. Even a pair of bunnies still will need. Otherwise, when you are home, they're not going to fucking give a shit about you. For real.
So you're saying I need 12 bunnies?
I'm saying you need, if you want bunnies, have 2 bunnies that you can spend time with on a daily basis. Consistently. We have at least a couple hours of interaction, some one-on-one interaction with you and your bunnies. Because you're going to have to make sure they're eating, that they're not in stasis, right? So that everything is moving. So you have to be able to watch their poop and look at their poop and see that everything is looking good there. You have to be able to change their box and change their water and give them hay and give them fresh greens and give them their treats that they're going to want. And then, of course,
start with a goldfish, Andrew.
If you want to have a bunny that has a personality, you're going to have to spend time with it. Like if you want the bunny that you can play with and it interacts with you, like a little rabbit that behaves like a dog, you'll have to be able to spend time with it in order to do that. It has to trust you and know you in order to open up to you that way.
Gotcha. All right. I love animals.
Be careful with the goldfish, though, Andrew. Be careful with the goldfish. I watched a buddy.
It only lives like 30 days.
He had the same issue. No. That wasn't the issue. The issue was he had one goldfish that turned into 100 fish in like 6 different huge tanks around his house. And it turned into like a 5-hour-a-day job. Taking care of all these tanks and making sure the water, and he had fresh fish and saltwater fish and this and that, and he just
so
got
the addiction level.
totally raw. Yeah, a huge addiction to fish.
Oh, maybe there was some kind of like miracle birth happening with that first goldfish. I wasn't really sure what happened there.
No, like he went and he got a bigger place so he could have another fish tank. It got that bad. It was cool though. It was really cool. It was like walking into an aquarium. Like every wall you looked at had some kind of fish. And then it wasn't just fish. He had like, they were all decked out with like living coral in there and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was really
there's
cool.
certain animals I believe that are super awesome to have, like bunnies, cats, rabbits, ferrets, gerbils, hamsters, that kind of thing. But I've never understood why people want to own lizards. It's like
my older brother
like
did.
a python or
He
a
had a bunch
fucking
of them.
iguana. It never made sense to me.
Ian in chat says, whatever you get, Andrew, make sure it runs on batteries. So you can get the rabbit, you can get the hummingbird, you can get the dolphin, but I'm not quite sure what else you're getting beyond that.
I don't look at chat very often. I apologize. If I'm not in voice chat, then I'm in chat. But I'm in voice chat right now. It runs on batteries. Can I get one?
You know what? I keep seeing on YouTube, next to a Christmas song, a little dog that runs on batteries.
I know. I keep seeing that same stupid commercial and going, that's not a freaking, that's a real dog. It's got to be a real dog.
Funny enough, I saw a cute bunny video. Thank you, Josh, for getting me addicted to watching these videos.
Welcome.
And there's this one video of there's 2 bunnies in there, and the owners put this mechanical bunny in there, and one of the bunnies runs over to it and just like whips it around, and the batteries fall out of it. I was like, whoa, those bunnies don't fuck around. They know it was fake.
Well, while you're thanking him for that, I'm going to thank you, Andrew, for having every other story in my news feed be from Ken Has Cheeseburger. That's a cat video site, if you're not familiar.
I am not familiar, no.
One thing you should not get, Andrew, is a cow.
I shouldn't get a cow? Yeah, I can't.
No.
I'm on the second floor of a condo.
They don't make great pets, and they don't go downstairs.
Bengal tiger. I wouldn't go with the Bengal tiger either.
You know, they say cows kill more people each year than sharks. Go watch some
cow
videos. Oh, dude, a cow is huge.
Yeah.
It can just throw you around like a rag doll without moving its feet, just by moving its head. Their necks are like...
Cows will fuck your dick.
I get that. All right, quick
and
story.
Then, like a bull is going to drive its head, which is like a solid, huge steel anvil almost, and just drive you into the ground.
Yeah,
and
they're going to have 300 or 400 pounds of pressure. So I was
more
with
than
my
that.
buddy Chris.
1,200.
Get up to like 2,700 pounds.
I don't know the exact pressure range and strength, but yeah, their necks are fucking huge and dangerous, sort of like horses and bulls. Bulls are much more.
You'll be walking by a fence, and if a cow can get its head through that fence, it can just lift you and throw you 8-10 feet, no problem. Just whoop, and you'll go flying.
So
my buddy Chris and I,
Andrew, we got
We got
Andrew, we got PK in chat wondering where your perpetual motion machine is because you promised and teased that you were going to show it. And I'd hate to think that you would tease something and not deliver on it in the end.
I need to learn how it works first.
Get a glass and put some water in it.
No, I've got two of them. I took one of them out and put that one in my garage, and it seemed to work for a while, but I didn't set it up right. So the other one, fuck it. I'll just show you guys. Hold on.
Goats? You don't want a goat in an apartment either? That wouldn't go well, probably.
All that screaming? I guess not. Oh, wow. So, yeah, I scrolled back up and I did find the other thing. It wasn't the MASH song, although the MASH song was cool.
It's the drinking bird. With all my weed, by the way.
Where is it at?
What? Now I'm spotlighting, but it's not spotlighting. Hold on.
No, I'm not. We're just seeing you. And now behind you.
Almost. Getting warmer.
Now the ceiling. Ah, there he is. I see him now. Oh, when did he get lucky? When did he get lucky? It must be. You must have got that from another country. I don't know. I bet that's made from another country. I'm not being racially motivated or anything.
I may have to save this until Friday morning or something, but either way, I went up to the hills, Mission Valley Hills in Fremont, California with my buddy Chris, and I had an airsoft automatic machine gun, and we went up there, and it was quite a hike. And we went up and found a whole bunch of cows that were up there. And the entire intention was to hike until we found a bunch of cows. And we were high on mushrooms, like really high on mushrooms at that point. And I gave the gun to Chris. It's an airsoft gun. It's not a big deal. And he just like unloaded like half of a magazine of rounds onto a single cow, and it pissed that cow off a lot. and then he gave it to me, and I shot another cow. And then all of a sudden, something happened where all the cows woke up and they started charging towards us. Like, oh,
don't
fuck.
Mess with cows, man. That's what we were trying to tell you.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
We left my cousin in a field full of like cows after his ass because he kept throwing dirt clods at him, and we kept telling him, "You better quit," and he just kept doing it. And when they all started going after him, we went the other way. It's like, dude, I'm not fighting cows for your stupidity. Sorry. He made it. He made it out, but it was bad.
Yeah, these were wild cows too, like mostly wild. So, anyways, that's and you could see it in their eyes. They knew we were going to be their fucking lunch or something. You could see it, like they were coming towards us. It was just an airsoft gun.
Rufus the Bull on
Rufus
YouTube.
The Bull.
And
it's that time.
Love y'all.
Yeah, love you guys.
Yes, Mike D. Lightning bugs rock. I was trying to get back to it. All right, love y'all. Thank y'all.
Always a good time hanging out with you folks this morning. Be sure you join us again on Friday morning for more of the same and some stuff that's different. Here on the IRONWORX. Until then, be good, be well, do good, do it well. We love you. Bye-bye.